Hi everyone, how's life, and welcome to a very special vlog here in London. Today I'm at the Waldorf Hotel on the Strand in London, and I'm about to go and experience their Beauty and the Beast themed afternoon tea, which I'm very excited about. This has been going on for a couple of months now, and as soon as I heard about it I had to book it. I'm treating my mom to it, so it's going to be one of her first days out actually in a while, because as some of you know, she had an accident a few months ago, so it's been very tough for both of us, especially for my mom. So today's going to be a good day. I'm very excited. You can already hear some of the beautiful music from inside the dining room. So yeah, let's head on in and see what it's all about. Cannot wait. I'm going to speak quietly because I feel like the atmosphere is quite a quiet atmosphere. They've got a harp playing as well, which is beautiful. We've already heard Colours of the Wind and a couple of other songs, but this is the menu. You would have hopefully seen some of it already, but I love it. Look at the design. It's got the rose here. The tables are set so beautifully as well. Yeah, it's amazing. And we've already had some of this, some kind of tea, but it's called tea. It tastes a bit like lemon juice, I want to say. It's not bad, not my favorite either though. My mom enjoyed it. So we've got our little sandwiches. I'm going to try a few of them and see what it's like. This one's the ham one on some kind of rye toast bread. I'm enjoying the music more than anything here. This is quite good. This is the next one I'm having. It's prawn, I believe, with some couple of things on it. I'm not sure what, but we're going to give it a go. My mom's already had it, she said it was quite good. Last one of these little sandwiches is like a grape on some kind of Waldorf salad and toast again, rye bread. Let's give it a go. They're playing such beautiful music. Next one, this is the salmon sandwich. Let's give it a go. I love salmon. Leave a comment down below and let me know if you like salmon or not. But before you do that, I want to thank the sponsors of this video, HelloFresh. Now, I've been an avid fan of HelloFresh for about a year now. It has been a game changer in the way I organize my days. I'm not the best of cooks, and before using HelloFresh, I honestly very rarely cooked. But HelloFresh has so many incredible recipes, and they're very easy to follow as well, even for someone like me who's not very experienced in cooking. In fact, I would go as far as saying especially for someone like me who isn't too confident, because when it comes to cooking, I am still very new to it. I used to very much stick to just a few things that I knew how to make, whereas HelloFresh has made it possible for me to cook a variety of different meals every week, and it's so convenient as well because you get to order what you want, the recipes that you want for the amount of people that you want every week, and then the box shows up at your door with all the fresh ingredients inside the box. And every month they have new recipes as well, so you're never going to get bored, and that's been for me one of the best things about it, because it's allowed me to use different recipes to make different cuisines, and I'm a big foodie, so I love tasting new things. This week I decided to go for a Korean dish actually. This is the cheesy Korean inspired beef loaded wedges. It takes a bit longer to cook than some of the other things that I've cooked before, but I love Korean food, so I kind of wanted just to give it a go. And again, I surprised myself as to how easy it was to not only follow the recipe but to cook it. Everything is just there for you, all the ingredients that you need, and it really didn't even take that long. Like, the majority of it was just waiting for the potatoes to cook. And the weirdest thing is that not only does HelloFresh allow me to cook different recipes and different cuisines, I actually really enjoy it as well. Like, I love cooking now because I'm not stressing when I'm cooking. Everything is there for me, everything is easy, and the best part of it is that the food tastes amazing as well. This cheesy Korean inspired beef wedges was delicious, so good. The beef tasted so lovely, the Korean spices on there tasted amazing, and my mom enjoyed it as well. So at the moment, because my mom had an accident in January, I've been her main carer for the past 4 months or so. Normally she likes to cook sometimes as well, but the past few months it's basically been just me, so HelloFresh has been extra helpful for me over the past few months. And the cool thing is that HelloFresh have been kind enough to give you an offer where you can get 60% off your first box and then 25% off the next 2 months, as well as some free gifts as well. So the link will be down below in the description if you want to make the most of this amazing offer. You can hopefully see the code up here as well. It's HFSAM60. So if you put that code in, you should be able to get the discount. I'm actually also going to put a barcode here to make your life easier. So if you just scan the barcode that you can hopefully see at the moment on your screens, you should be able to go directly to the page and have that discount automatically added for you. Give it a go if you wish to. It's an amazing offer. Try it out for a week and see how you feel. Like I said, for me, ever since I started using it, I haven't stopped, and it has made my life so much easier. But with that, thank you so much to HelloFresh again. Let's go back to the afternoon tea. Anyway, we're back at the Waldorf now at the Homage restaurant. I'm going to try some of my cappuccino. I'm not a big fan of tea, so I'll ask for cappuccino instead. It's lovely. So we finished our first set of sandwiches, and they actually come back and ask if you want any more. I think they only do this once, so bear that in mind. I asked for another salmon one, which I've got over here, and also a ham and cheese one. And my mum asked for 2 more salmon ones because that was her favourite. The salmon one is excellent. It's definitely my favourite as well, but I wanted to try the ham and cheese one as well. It's the more standard version. So yeah, I've got them all on my plate here. And I think after this we're going to have our desserts, our cakes, which I'm very excited about. We have our little cakes on the table now, and there's loads going on. There's a Cogsworth one, which is like the main one, it's a chocolate one. There's some raspberry stuff, some macarons, some little, I think they said lemon cakes. I'm not sure. We're going to give it all a go anyway. It's presented very nicely. And then of course we've got our scones on the bottom with jam and cream, etc. I'm not a big fan of jam personally, so don't worry, that whole argument of do you put jam first or cream, not my thing because I just don't eat jam. But yeah, I'm looking forward to giving this all a taste. This I believe is a lemon macaron. Personally not the biggest fan of anything lemony. Also they're playing Feed the Birds on the harp. Listen to it. I love this song so much from Mary Poppins. But I'm going to give it a quick taste test anyway. Not my thing, but I kind of knew it wouldn't be just because I don't like lemony stuff. But if you enjoy it, you might like it. I just don't like macarons anyway. When it comes to lemon macarons, definitely not a fan. I want to show you this one though. This one my mom's already tried and she said it was really good. This is a raspberry layered cake. As you can see, it's got a little rose on it as well. I'm going to give this a go. Look at all the layers. Very nice. Let's see what it tastes like. That's definitely the best one so far. And then we've also got this blue cupcake type thing. I'm guessing it's blue to kind of represent obviously the colour of Belle's dress, her village dress. It's a nice shade of blue anyway. This one my mum has already tried. It's got some kind of jam in it. As you know, I'm not the biggest fan of jam, so actually I'm not going to eat this. My mum's going to enjoy the second one as well. But if you're a fan of jam, go for it. It is time to try Cogsworth. This is the chocolate torte that they've got going on. Very cute, some kind of white chocolate on in front of it. And it's the only cake that they give only one of. Everything else there was 2 of because there's 2 of us, my mom and I. But this one I think because it's quite rich, they only give you 1. It's also bigger as well. So yeah, very cute. I love chocolate things, so hopefully this will be nice. I know you're technically meant to eat this with a fork, but I'm just going to give it a bite because it'll be fun. So as you can see, there's some chocolate and caramel inside the torte as well. I'm going to have this on my own because my mum isn't the biggest fan of chocolatey things. That's also another reason why I was happy to just bite into it. It's quite dry, I have to say, the torte itself. The white chocolate, which is Cogsworth on the front, is cute. I mean, the face is cute. Let me take one more bite. It's very rich chocolate, quite bitter, so it's not going to be to everyone's taste. I personally quite like it though. I'd probably say this is my favourite thing on the sweets menu. Firstly, they are currently playing Toy Stories You've Got a Friend with Me on the harp, which is lovely. But I'm about to try the scones, and we both noticed, my mum and I, that we don't have any knives on the table, which unfortunately is not very good service because you kind of need knives to put the jam and butter and cream on it. So we're going to have to wait now until somebody comes and we can ask. In fact, I'm going to talk about the service a little bit at the end of this vlog, so make sure you watch, because whilst the experience so far has been excellent in terms of the food's been lovely, the atmosphere is lovely, the musician who's playing the harp is fantastic, there's been a couple of little glitches with the service and a couple of other things that I will mention at the end of the vlog, so make sure you stay tuned. But I'm just going to have to wait now until we get knives, because we don't have any on the table at the moment, just a fork and a spoon, which doesn't quite work for using jam on scones.
A few minutes later.
Okay, we finally got our knife. so I can put the cream on the scone. Scone is lovely, so is the cream, but I mean, quite a basic situation. Obviously, as I said, I'm not the biggest fan of jams, so I can't try the jams, but the scone, that's nice. We've got the main Beauty and the Beast song playing on the harp now. Taylor's oldest time.
That was beautiful. Thank you.
So our bill has arrived, and just so you guys know, it all came to a total of £132, so definitely not an inexpensive afternoon tea. It's definitely one of the most expensive afternoon teas I've ever had. It is at the Waldorf, and it is obviously Disney themed. Personally, and I am going to talk about it a little bit more, I don't think it's worth it. I'm going to have to say it here. Obviously, if you really like Beauty and the Beast, perhaps go for it. But I think it's a little bit too expensive for what we got. So we have finished our afternoon tea. It took about 2 hours. It's currently 4 p.m. and our afternoon tea reservation was for 2 p.m. The decor of the restaurant, the homage restaurant, with the trees and the roses in there, everything about the setting has been wonderful, I have to say. But the actual experience overall, like I said, I just don't think is worth the amount of money that you're paying. And I'm going to elaborate on that a little bit more once we leave the place. But before I do that, I wanted to show you a little bit of the environment one more time. So as you can see, these are the cute trees they've got going on with the little roses on them. That's the harp. The harpist has actually now gone. I think she might come back later on. This is the main area of the restaurant. They've got Mrs. Potts as well, which is what our first teas came in, which is very cute. And yeah, the actual room, as you can see, is lovely, really nice. And from there is where you would go outside. So let's talk a little bit more about the Beauty and the Beast afternoon tea here at London's Waldorf Hotel at the Homage restaurant. Now, I showed you everything that we got in terms of food. I like the theming. I thought the dining area was lovely with the harp, with the little trees and the roses on our tables. It was really nicely set. The napkins as well, having Mrs. Potts and then the chip as well, and then Cogsworth, which is probably the only like main themed, I guess, dessert we had. But yeah, the food quality was good. Was it fantastic? No. Personally, I actually prefer the sandwiches to the desserts that we had. My favorite thing was Cogsworth because I like chocolate things, but even that was quite dry. I feel like it could have been a little bit moister, personally. That raspberry layered cake was lovely. Both me and my mum enjoyed it. That was my mum's favorite, actually, in terms of the cakes that we had. The macaron, neither of us were a big fan of. And then, yeah, the sandwiches were all good. The sandwiches I can give 10 out of 10 to. My cappuccino was lovely. My mom enjoyed her tea. Now, speaking of the tea, though, my mom initially asked for some tea with milk, which is very normal. And what she got was very, very cold tea, like tea that had clearly been set aside for a while. It wasn't hot enough at all. and we were a bit confused by it. But then my mom was like, I should probably ask for some, hot tea. And she did eventually. And once they gave her a new set of tea, it was actually hot. It was what tea should be like. So that was the first thing that we noticed that wasn't quite good. I'm guessing the first server, the first waiter that we had, just for whatever reason had decided to give my mom leftover tea rather than new tea, which I don't think is on, considering the price of this place. You should be given tea that is actually hot. Her tea was very much cold, which tea is hot, right? But obviously when it was sorted out, it was absolutely fine. The only thing is that we never got an apology. We never got like even a quick sorry about our mistake. They also forgot to give my mom milk. Initially she had asked for some tea with milk. They just brought her this cold tea and forgot about the milk, and it took ages for them to come back to us. So the service was extremely slow and very not attentive. So it's just like we had to really look for people to actually come and help us out, if that makes sense. It wasn't like the waiters were attentive enough. Normally you would expect from a hotel like this for waiters, for people working there, for the staff to be attentive to everybody. And it wasn't like it was a big busy place either. There were maybe about 5 or 6 tables apart from us, so it wasn't busy, but it wasn't overly busy. There were definitely a couple of empty tables. It didn't look like it was a stressful time. So I don't know. I mean, the service that we got, the people were lovely in terms of their attitude. They were lovely, but it was just extremely slow. So that was the first little glitch that we had. Then, as you saw, they forgot giving us knives for the desserts at the end with the scones and stuff. Of course you need a knife. Obviously once we asked them, they did bring them over, but again it was difficult to even be able to get their attention to be able to ask for one. Again, I'm just telling you these things so you can get an overview. For us, it didn't ruin the experience at all. We still had a lovely time. My mom enjoyed it, I enjoyed it. It was a lovely afternoon, but like I said, with the price, I just think these things should be, I don't know, they should definitely be better. Personally, even something as little as at the end we had a couple of our cakes left over, which one of the waiters asked if we wanted to take them home with us, and my mom was like, yeah, why not? It was like maybe 3 of them, and so she brought over a box, but she didn't actually bring it to our table. She put it somewhere else. Like, we could see that the box was in her hands. She put it on a table nearby. I think she just forgot that she was going to bring it to us, and then another waiter came and took the box away. So we just, like, it's like it's almost like the communication between the waiters wasn't great. Again, nothing to be too bothered about, but it's just these little things that could definitely improve an experience overall, which I thought was a bit sad to see. And the last thing that I think was probably one of the worst things is that the Chip little cups that they gave us, obviously Chip, the character from Beauty and the Beast, obviously he's called Chip, so he is meant to be chipped, but he's meant to be chipped in a fake way, so he's meant to have that fake chip. You know what I mean? And mine was fine, it didn't have any extra chips, but my mom's cup, her chip cup, literally had quite a lot of chips around the edges of where her mouth would go, which is definitely not on, that is actually can be quite dangerous. You can potentially cut your lips with it if you're not careful. And we actually spoke to a waiter about it because I wasn't sure if they'd done it on purpose or not, and the waiter was like, no, this isn't on purpose, it's just for whatever reason a lot of our cups have now become chipped, and so we recommend you maybe not drinking from the actual teacup and using your spoon to get things out. I mean, what is that? Like, we obviously, we didn't let it bother us too much, but we were just quite surprised, both of us. And the waiter actually said that if it was her decision, she would change the teacups and maybe get some new ones that aren't chipped. But she said that so many of them are now properly chipped that they just have decided to let them be chipped. Make of that what you will. I just don't think that it's not acceptable, in my opinion, at such a high place like this at the Waldorf, for them to serve you tea in very much chipped cups. And it wasn't meant to be chipped. It's a chipped cup, like the character chip, but like mine just was like normal, a normal cup with the fake chip. Some of them, as the waiter said, have actual chips on them, and they're just not bothering changing them. That was a bit off-putting as well. So that is it in terms of the negative things, I suppose, of the experience. Another thing I will have to say though about the actual hotel itself, the Waldorf Hotel, the main staff when we entered have all been fantastic. So very accommodating to my mom as well. My mom is currently using crutches because of her injury that she had in January with the accident, and they were so lovely with her, so patient. They also actually have a lift, which you can see there behind me. The lift was so useful for my mom, so she didn't have to use any stairs. She could take the lift to the level that the restaurant was on. And like I said, the couple of staff members that we spoke to at the front of the hotel were all fantastic, so good and so helpful and so lovely and professional with my mom. It really changed the experience and made me relax and made my mom feel more relaxed, because this is, like I said, one of her first outings since January, since when she had the accident, unfortunately. And we were both a little bit worried about it. I had checked before to see if it's going to be okay, and it was okay. The lift was a lifesaver and made the experience a lot more enjoyable for us. So big shout out to the staff at the front of the the hotel, and like I said, the staff at the restaurant weren't bad either. They were very professional, very polite, just very slow. And I feel like with a couple of things that did go wrong, and I understand people can forget things, it would have been nice if they at least apologized. They would have been like, no, I'm sorry we forgot your knives, I'm sorry we forgot to give you actual hot tea. Things like that would have made a difference if they'd actually acknowledged it and apologized. Even the lady who talked to us about the cups being chipped, even though she said she agrees that they shouldn't be chipped, she never actually apologized. And I think these things would have made a difference. But with that being said, I am going to be leaving. There you go, I'm actually about to leave the Waldorf Hotel. Let me leave. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, back into the streets of London on the Strand. Would I recommend this? No, I have to be honest. I think the price, unfortunately, it's not value for money, considering it came up to about £132 for the pair of us. I'm glad I treated my mom. I was happy we had a lovely 2 hours together, but I don't think it's worth it. It's not something that I would recommend, you know, with the amount of other afternoon teas that are available here. Unless you're a huge Beauty and the Beast fan, choose something else. I don't think that the food that we got, the service that we got, was worth the money personally. However, because they kind of top up the sandwiches, so we had quite a lot of the little sandwiches, both me and my mum are actually quite full now. So this, we kind of are acting as if this is our lunch or / dinner. So we're not going to be eating much later on. So in terms of the amount of food that you get, in my opinion, is enough. So you can treat it as lunch or dinner, and then it will fill you up enough so you won't have to have more food or a lot more food throughout the day. So that's something. So maybe you can say, you can pretend that you're paying, what, 132, that's about £70 roughly per person for food. Yeah, not something I would recommend, but I'm glad I went there. My mum had a lovely time. I enjoyed spending it with her. But leave a comment down below and let me know what you guys think. If you have been here yourself to check out the afternoon tea, the Beauty and the Beast afternoon tea, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. And if you haven't been, let me know what you think of what I showed you. Do you think it's something that you would consider coming to for £132 per 2 people, or does it not look good enough for you? I had a good time, but I wouldn't recommend it, and I'm glad I did it so that you can make your own mind about it. The Waldorf Hotel though is lovely. That was my first time inside it. Beautiful hotel. But yeah, this is London. I'm gonna love you and leave you now. Thank you so much for watching this video. Big thank you to HelloFresh as well for sponsoring that section of the vlog, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.